Porsche says the 911 Dakar will hit 60 miles per hour in 3.2 seconds on pavement, just 0.1 seconds behind the most recent 911 Carrera GTS. Makes sense, since Porsche also claims the car is only 22 pounds heavier than a Carrera 4 GTS with a twin-clutch transmission. It's only slightly slower on dirt, for the buck dyno. Ripping down Desert 2 tracks, the 911 Dakar feels entirely worthy of its name. Its recalibrated suspension isn't pillowy soft like a Ford Raptor, but it deals with bumps surprisingly well. The biggest ones slam the dampers into their internal bump stops with a noise that makes you wish for hydraulic jounce absorbers, but the car just takes it and keeps going. These special all-terrains certainly make a case for themselves. Rear weight bias, rear steering, and loose gravel be damned, there are no widowmaker tendencies here. We're exceeding interstate speeds on dirt and thinking nothing of it, no fear, no stress. Even so, and while Porsche's the car will reach a computer-limited, but really tire-limited 150 miles per hour, we're not about to find the top speed here. Still, the 911's low center of gravity gives us a confidence you don't always have in off-road trucks where rollover crashes are a more serious possibility. With all the weight in back and an unremarkable breakover angle, you avoid cresting dunes and stick to the valleys between them. When you do need to get over a saddle, you keep your foot in it until the whole car is over rather than lifting as soon as the front goes over as you would in a nose-heavy truck. Any excuse to keep the throttle pedal planted is a good one in this car, so don't think too hard about it. The Dakar simply loves this stuff. Traction is no issue, it's simply a matter of maneuvering carefully around all the big rocks threatening grievous body damage. Rear steering is your friend here. The extra ride height is, too, when you need to come up a steep transition or put a tire directly on a large rock. This isn't where the 911 Dakar wants to be, but if this kind of terrain is between you and the fun stuff, it can handle it. The car is so light and nimble compared to your average SUV or truck, it just dances through the dunes like a buggy. Anytime you want, you just kick out the rear end, bring it back the other way, and do it again. The Porsche even jumps well, as we discover inadvertently. Everyone should experience joy like this behind the wheel. Despite its extra height, despite its off-road tires, despite its soft suspension, it still drives like a 911 on the street. The PDCC active anti-roll bars firm up, and the whole package just feels like a tall Carrera. Any squirm in the blocky rubber tread isn't evident in the steering. It may not handle quite as well as the Carrera 4 GTS it gets its powertrain from, but it isn't that far off. If anything, it rides surprisingly firmly for an off-road capable vehicle, especially over small bumps. The car is absolutely brilliant so long as you understand and drive within its capabilities. With 6.3 inches of ground clearance standard and 7.5 inches in its high setting, the Dakar has less clearance than your average Subaru. Even on trails appropriate for the car, you'll drag the belly pan on something sooner or later. I lost count of how many times I did. There's no avoiding it. In fact, even set to its highest ride height, the 911 Dakar's off-road stats struggle to match a Subaru Crosstrex. A 16.1 degree approach angle is certainly better than a standard 911's 8 degrees, but it's 2 degrees shy of the Crosstrek. The 18.2 degree departure angle at least guarantees you won't drag the ass on anything the nose didn't hit first, but it's nowhere near the Subaru's 28.6 degree departure angle. At least the 19.0 degree breakover angle is only 0.7 degree worse than the Subaru's. A superb rule of thumb is to not take the 2023 Porsche 911 Dakar anywhere you don't think a 473 horsepower Subaru could go. It's not a Raptor, and you shouldn't drive it like one. You should approach steep ramps and steps cautiously, attack dunes with care, and entirely avoid large rocks. There's an enormous amount of fun to be had off-road in a 911 Dakar. You don't need to try to conquer every kind of terrain on Earth. It's understandable you don't want to hurt a car for which you paid $223,450 to start, and probably more like $300,000, or even more, after options and dealer markups, but shame be upon anyone who buys the 2023 Porsche 911 Dakar, and never takes it off-road even once. People like that will miss the entire point, and the entirety of the fun.